Hello and welcome back. Susan Zummo here, intuitive and originator of soul patterning harmonics. You may notice that each week when I do these videos, I introduced myself as an intuitive. And that's because being an intuitive, being connected to your soul through the intuition, is extremely important at this time. And so we're going to talk about intuition today. And I want to tell you that intuition is going to play a much more prominent place in the workshops and courses that I'll be doing over the next year. I usually assume that everybody watching is already connected to their intuition. But I was told this morning that we could all use to deepen that connection and listen, know, see even better. And so that's what I'm going to do for myself, and that's what I want to talk to you about. If you want to increase your intuition, and if you want to utilize your intuition during this ascension process, the very first step is to be willing to know what you are going to learn. We are going to discover and be told information about our history, about who we are as human beings, about who we are as spiritual beings. We are going to have all kinds of new information uncovered and thrown at us over the course of this year. Now, everyone who's going to put this information out has an opinion. They have their facts, and they have everything that they need to back themselves up in what they're going to be saying. Well, now, our job is going to be to decide what is real and what is not, because not everything that's going to be put out there is going to be true or true for us. And so there are people who are putting out information about this great solar flare that's going to come and how we're all going to be obliterated and very few of us are going to be able to survive. And they've got all kind of facts and all types of studies and things and histories to back them up. Well, I think that's great. However, my intuition tells me that those things that happened in the past happened when the Earth and the beings on the planet were living in a different frequency than we are today. And because I know that we can create our reality individually and together as a collective, that does not have to necessarily happen. The future is malleable. We are malleable. And we can choose what type of future to create together. And so it is going to be important for each one of us to be intimately connected with our intuition as these new informations come flying at us from all directions. I think that it is not the same thing as just being stubborn and deciding not to pay attention or not to listen. Because a lot of times my intuitive voice is going to be very different than what my rational mind is telling me. And that's okay too. I've learned to trust my intuition more than my thinking voice. My thinking voice sometimes is the voice of fear, and that's not going to get me anywhere. So intuition and how we relate to our intuition and how we use it is going to come to the fore as we move into February and the rest of the year. Now, I think that's absolutely wonderful because when you are connected with your intuition, you cannot be led around by the nose by someone else who has a stronger will, a stronger belief, and a stronger connection than you do. I should say conviction than you do. I've had a lot of intuitives that have sat with me over the years who have done a very, very good job of getting out of their own way and being neutral when communicating information to others. Those are the people that you want to sit with. Those who cannot get out of their own stuff are going to give you information through their own personal filter. And that's not always going to hold true for you. So it is absolutely important that we learn to trust our own intuition and know what is right for us, know what sits well with us, know what feels good to us. The other thing that we want to look at when it comes to intuition is the desire to know. You have to desire to know the truth. The biggest block to receiving intuitive information is not wanting to know the truth of who you are or the truth of what's going on in the world. I can't tell you how many times you'll have someone come into your life and you'll think they're absolutely fantastic. And then that little voice inside of you says, I don't know about that. Maybe you should look closer at that. And if you don't want to know the truth of that person because of the idea that you have about them, then you're going to rationalize that little voice away and go, oh, no, they're so this and they do that. And oh, no, that can't be true. I would say listen to that voice. It's going to save you a lot of heartache and a lot of trouble. Your intuition is going to tell you what's correct. Do not be afraid to know the truth. You know, most people are afraid of their intuition because they're afraid their intuition is going to tell them terrible things about themselves. All the terrible things that they already think about themselves. But I'm going to tell you that you're going to be surprised because your intuition, 9 times out of 10, wants to tell you all the wonderful things about you. Your soul wants you to know that you're a being of light. Your soul wants you to know how powerful you are. And your soul wants to communicate to you how loved you are. But if you do not want to know that about yourself, you won't be able to hear it or see it or feel it. And so we must be willing to have a 360-degree view of ourselves and the world. And if the soul has something to tell us that needs to change, it's not going to scold you or make you feel bad or talk down to you. It will be a suggestion. Intuition makes a lot of suggestions. Mine always sound like, I don't know if you want to do that, or you might not want to go there, right? When I ask my intuition if I should do something or not, if I should pursue something or not, my intuition, my soul will tell me that might not be such a good thing for you to do. You might want to do something else. My soul may also say to me, well, you can do that. You can do that if you want. And then we look at, well, what would that lead to? So that I can make informed choices and decisions about my life. Your soul wants to do the same for you. As we are going through this ascension process, your intuition is going to tell you what foods will be beneficial for you to eat at any given moment. Your intuition will tell you if you should be resting or if you should be active. Your intuition is going to guide you as to whether or not what you're being given or presented or asked to follow is going to be beneficial for you. And so as we go through the coming year, becoming intimately acquainted with your intuition on a deeper level is going to be extremely important. We must know ourselves. If we do not know ourselves, then we can be caught unawares by others and by situations and circumstances. And really nobody likes that. Nobody wants to have the rug pulled out from under them because they have not been paying attention to who they are or what needs to be addressed. If there is something within you that needs to be addressed, your soul is going to tell you the best way to address it. You will not be left without resources. Why am I emphasizing this today at this time? Because we're going to need that faculty to be fully operational as we continue to move forward. People who are not connected to their inner self. People who are not connected to Source have their intuition cut off. They are susceptible to influence, they are susceptible to fears, and they are susceptible to programming based on what they see and hear around them rather than what they know and feel within them. And that's why intuition is so important, and that's why we're talking about it right now. We need to always be checking within, to listening, to seeing, to feeling in our everyday lives. We must know what to accept and what to reject for ourselves. And if you want to have a high frequency and a strong body of light, intuition is going to be key. So again, as we go forward, intuition is going to play a vital part of everything that I do and everything that I talk about and teach, because your intuition is going to give you what your soul's path is for you, what your soul's guidance for you, and it will be given with love. Now, those of us who have been doing intuitive work for many, many years, we need to do this too. We need to pay more attention to, and we need to be more open as well. Because I have to tell you, a lot of us in this field, a lot of us doing this work, we're pretty fixed in our ideas about how things are and how things are going to go, how we get our information, what that looks like, and what it means. We must learn to be elastic as well, and we must learn to be neutral when receiving information from the soul. The soul is going to guide you in a loving way, and we have to be open and ready to receive that information. So whether it is a dream symbol, an individual speaking to us, and the little voice inside of you goes, "Did you hear that? Pay attention," because I get that all the time. It can come from any source. Be open, be ready, and begin to listen. I like to ask questions. I'm kind of an interviewer when it comes to my intuition. I want to know what, I want to know why, I want to know how. And that's how I interact with my soul and my intuition. I'm just a questioning person. And I'm also a practical person. So I want to know how to ground those energies, that information, and those visions that I'm getting. What does that mean? Do not be afraid to ask questions. This is a conversation that you have with your higher. And your higher is ready, willing, and able to speak with you in the way that is best for you. And so whether it's through journaling or writing or inspiration, whether it's through symbology, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you connect and you be open to it coming in any way at all. But first, we must know ourselves. If your intuition is telling you that you've got a little fear spot or you've got a little anger spot, don't deny it and pretend that it's not there. Look at it and then ask the questions. How do I heal that? How do I clear that? What can I do with that? How do I release that? Get the information that you need and then follow through. It's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you a lot of finances as well, because instead of going from here, there, and everywhere, your intuition will guide you to the right place the first time. And who doesn't like that? I know I do. So let us not pretend that we are who we are not. And let us not pretend that we are not who we are. Allow yourself to be open to all the fantastic things that you are, all the amazing things that you are, and all the glorious things that you are. Not just all the things that you don't like and need to be fixed with you and the world. Work with your intuition. And if you need help with that, contact me. Let's get there. And let's get there in a state of awareness, love, and light together. So until next week, I wish you many blessings.